Hey everyone, it's Pastor Colin with your daily word. As we continue in this series on expectations and hearing from each of our pastors answer these questions this week, the question we're asking is, what is the greatest struggle and what is the greatest gift we've been given from God during quarantine? And other pastors have mentioned it. Just want to say this, not to say that God has imposed quarantine or coronavirus or whatever else is going on in the world to teach us a lesson or to send us a message or something like that. It would be a rather brutal or large, crazy way for God to communicate with us. But we can find in the moment we find ourselves in ways to repurpose or reimagine our time, our way of life, our patterns and rhythms of spirituality, the way that we connect with others, how we spend time with our family. We can take that opportunity, whether we like it or not. We find ourselves with different, maybe not good or new opportunities, but different opportunities for sharing our faith and for growing in the likeness of Jesus right now. And so in answering that question, I thought about a lot of things. And frankly, the biggest struggle I've had during quarantine is the inability to visit with and see people that I love and find life in. In particular, my twin sister Jillian had a baby on Mother's Day. And normally I would be able to take some time off and go visit her in South Carolina and see my niece and visit her and visit my family, but I'm unable to do that. And sure, we've had opportunities to FaceTime and to see each other online, but it's just not the same. There's something about being embodied, being in the same room as another that is empowering and life-giving for sure. And so that's been my greatest struggle, the inability to see people and to share time with people that I love. The greatest gift, I couldn't help but think about this book, The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry by John Mark Comer. I'm a big fan of John Mark Comer and his teaching at his church in Bridgetown, as people on the staff of the church would tell you. I quote him or mention him probably on a daily basis, but right before quarantine began, Men's Life, led by Pastor Michael, was studying this book by John Mark Comer. And I remember thinking, as we began the stay-at-home order and began to work from home and record everything and do everything online, thinking like, well, now we're kind of forced to do some of these things that John Mark Comer recommends. And that was partially true, but also another truth of his book was brought to the forefront, that this hurry, this feeling of anxiety and needing to complete and produce and to create new things and to be productive really wasn't solved by quarantine or stay at home. It was really just magnified. The hurry that we experience in our world and our culture is environmental. It's an attitude. It's a way of life that we've kind of been fed and taught to partake in. And being at home and being quarantined just magnified it. And really, the unfortunate part of that is that I couldn't find ways to occupy or distract myself from those things that I needed to complete or do or produce. And so the greatest gift that God has given me, opportunity, is to see that. And it was painful at first. It cut really deep to see how I had been impacted by hurry, by this kind of swift way of moving in the world and this kind of frantic and frenetic attitude and spiritual disposition that was harming me and hurting me, hurting my relationship with Landon, hurting my relationship with others, hurting my relationship with those I worked with. And so the greatest gift that God has given me is, I would say, just some perspective, some kind of earth-shattering perspective, to see that just because I'm at home, just because I'm forced to kind of slow down in some ways, doesn't mean that I'm exempt from the ways that I've bought into this kind of consumer idea that what it means to be in the world is to consume and to pick up and to produce as many things as possible. I've been forced to do the title of this book, to ruthlessly eliminate hurry from my life, and that's allowed me to see the ways in which I haven't had patterns or practices set up to follow Jesus. And it would be a missed opportunity for me to not mention that we have ways in the church that I'm participating in now to forge those rhythms, that scaffolding of our spiritual life, so that we can eliminate hurry from our life and draw close to the one who draws close to us. And so I mention as an opportunity triads and groups and classes, but primarily triads in our church that you can join with a couple of other people, same age, stage, and gender, to slow down, pay attention to your spirit, and discipline and order yourself so that you find rhythmically and habitually you're drawing close to Jesus as he forms you and shapes you in his image. So that's been my greatest struggle and my greatest gift. I hope you find something you resonate with or some challenge, and I hope that you'll answer that question for yourself, what you've struggled with that might be easy to name, and the gift may be more difficult, something that you've been given an opportunity that you want to share with others. Hope you have a great week.